Last month, a server called ZyphiaPvP came out of nowhere claiming they could save Minecraft factions. Now, the alpha has just come to a close and the server is ready to launch. But did they make good on their promises? Let's talk about ZyphiaPvP and the future of factions. So, quick recap for those that didn't see the first video. ZyphiaPvP is a new faction server run by some veterans that have been around for about a decade. Now, granted, they are sponsoring this video, but I also genuinely love the project. It's got potential. Overall, they've basically taken factions, fixed the balancing, removed pay to win, and sped the whole thing up to keep it fun. They also have some new custom features like TNT banks, raid shields, key heists, and more, but last video, the server wasn't out yet. On paper, that all sounds great, but I had to see it in action. So, for the first time in years, I was ready to play some factions. Alright fellas, we're here on ZyphiaPvP, but if we go onto the actual faction server, I've made my way over to a corner here already. Let's start by creating a faction here. So we'll do fcreate core, and I want to take this core and place it all the way pretty much at the height limit. The higher up the core, it's going to be a lot more difficult to actually reach it with a TNT cannon. Alright, so I've got my factions core placed down. I've also got a crafting table and a chest just so I could get all of this stuff out of my inventory. But now I want to take a look at this factions core. So as you can see right now, we only have a 3x3 claim right here. We can upgrade that with our core tier for 25,000, but as you can see right now, we've only got 20k. So for the moment, this is pretty much all I can do. I'm gonna need to wait a little bit until my TNT comes up here. Now I could go grind, build a farm, PvP, maybe build some walls around this base, but since I'm a solo and since this is an alpha, I kinda don't want to put all of my effort into that just yet. So I'm gonna see you once we've got a ton of TNT saved up, and we're gonna build a very basic TNT cannon and get to raiding. With my claim set up and a tiny sky base to hold my loot, I was ready to call it for the night. That is, until right before I logged off, a King of the Hill event started up, and I just couldn't help myself. One thing we actually can do right now that I forgot about is there is a Z KOTH going on. So this will reward us in faction EXP and automatic key decryption. Alright, so this is the Z KOTH here. It's actually a really genuinely cool build. You have this like kind of futuristic city looking vibe. This looks like something I would play in like Jet Set Radio. But yeah, I kind of just get to stay here, and assuming that the other two people don't come and try to beat me up, I should get this. I should have this in the bag.
A few moments later.
Alright, so there is just 20 seconds left, and it seems like these two fellas online have been quite nice and allowed me to claim this KOTH right here. So, back at my base here, I've got a core shard with 256 EXP, so I'll go ahead and just pop this in. This key just got decrypted, and I'm realizing now it probably would have been smart to decrypt more than just one key. But let's go ahead and buy ourselves a legendary crate, place this within our faction's territory. We'll go ahead and put it right here in the corner and open it up. And we've got a Totem of Undying. I'm gonna go ahead and claim the rest of my kits now and put them in here and let them decrypt naturally to hopefully get some very nice gear when we come back to raid. But that didn't last long. You see, I was filming some cinematics in creative mode the next day, and like an absolute goober, I casually smacked my faction's core, destroying my claim, my faction, and all the money, keys, and TNT I had saved up. But to be fair, this was a pretty pathetic base anyways. And besides, I still had some funky base building items to show you. Let's take a look in the shop here, because there's a lot of very interesting stuff. You have a chunk buster, you have cobblestone, endstone, obsidian, and sand gen buckets, and those come in both vertical and horizontal. Alright, so I've built a little outline. As you can see, we've got a platform in the middle chunk here. We need to start with a chunk buster. We've got 9 chunks here, so we're going to bust 9 chunks. So we're going to go ahead and place a chunk buster right here. And as you can see, it's going to start destroying every single bit of this chunk all the way right down to bedrock. And there we are. -63. Alright, so as you can see, we've now cleared out all 9 of these chunks, which means that we are now ready to start building our walls. You just want to place it on the edge of your block, and it will start using the obsidian. Now, gen buckets are a little different on this server compared to some other faction servers. You would place it on the edge of this block right here, and it would flow down on the sides like a typical, lava bucket or water bucket would go. So it is a little different on this server. So let's just go ahead and place all these gen buckets around the edge of this chunk. It uses 500 every time you use a gen bucket, so as you can see, this is not going to be enough to do our entire base. We're going to need a little bit more funds, and I think I know exactly how we're going to get them. My base was a lot better than before, but I needed the money to finish it or else it was all for nothing. And without the money for spawners or the patience for a farm, I only had one option. It was finally time to start a raid. This is WonderPets, the kings of the ZyphiaPvP alpha. They had made millions from their ridiculous amount of spawners, but all that wealth was locked deep inside their vault. So, with the help of some server regulars, we were going to bomb our way in. OP here set up the cannon and got to work, and after 10 minutes of absolutely thrashing this sand wall, we'll talk about that later, we were in. A few shots later, we cracked their core, and all this land as far as the eye can see was now ours, including over $1 million in spawners. We had won. And with that, my Zyphia journey was complete. Just hours later, the alpha went dark, and now the server is well on its way to a full release on September 19th with new events, shops, boss fights, and more. But now that I've had the chance to play it, how do I feel about ZyphiaPvP? Let's talk about that. So the moment I joined the alpha, there was already one big issue. There's no spawn. Every other faction server starts you at the hub, with shops, NPCs, maybe an arena. Zyphia is just like, good luck, and throws you in a forest. The good news is that all that's temporary, and it's already fixed for Season 0. Now, there's this amazing lobby, kinda reminds me of Night City, and it's got everything you need. The whole no hub thing also causes another problem, which is the shop. No spawn means no spawn shop, and /shop was really tiny and kind of expensive. The admins are already working on it, so expect it to be a lot better when you play, but there still could be some balancing issues early on, so just a heads up. Base building went really smooth. All the custom items like chunk busters and wall gens are cheap, easy, no complaints. The only problem was these sand gens. I think they were meant for sand cannons, but instead, people used them as walls that took like 50 shots to break. Pretty much everyone complained about them, myself included, and they're working on a fix. Besides that, raiding was super smooth, not a single issue with the cannons or plugins or anything, basically flawless. PvP though has a lot of issues. Now, the server's on 1.21, so some of this is probably on Mojang, not Zyphia, but combat just feels weird. The hit detection sucks, the knockback is insane, and projectiles just stopped working halfway through my duels. Staff were able to fix a few of those problems while I was still fighting, so like 10 out of 10 service, but it's still not perfect. On top of that, you don't get many chances to PvP, since there's no war zone at spawn, and the KOTH event was usually empty because it didn't give great rewards. Season 0 should fix all of that. More minigames, better rewards, random supply drops, even a huge boss fight at the new spawn. So yeah, the alpha had its issues, but the team is on top of it. Now, ZyphiaPvP is just factions at its absolute peak. Nothing but raids and events and PvP, and honestly, that's so refreshing. Zyphia Season 0 is live right now, so if you like what they're offering, go check them out, and if you hate everything I said in this video, I don't know, go play anyways, eat your veggies, they're good for you. Thank you all for watching, and have a good one. Peace, peace.